This video brought to you by my YouTube members and patrons. Thank you guys. How's it going everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video, and today we're going to be returning to r/unpopular opinion. I haven't looked at this subreddit in some time, and I enjoy it. It's funny. Unpopular opinions are funny and they're fun to talk about. Just a quick friendly reminder to you guys that, you know, unpopular opinions are meant to be just that, unpopular. I don't want any arguing or insults or anything like that. I don't want anyone to go to the OPs of any of these posts and harass them. I don't want anyone to harass anybody. I don't want you to harass me over how I talk about these opinions. We're going to talk about the opinions, we're going to discuss whether you agree them or not, and we're going to keep it that. We're going to keep it civil. Very quickly before we begin, I just wanted to mention that, by the way, YouTube members and patrons, you guys get one extra video every single week for as low as £1 a month. That's basically 25p per video. So if that's something that interests you, please do consider joining. But without further ado, let's get into the subreddit, shall we? Tomatoes completely ruin any sandwich they're on. Now don't get me wrong, I ain't no tomato hater. I love tomatoes when it's in salsa, tomato soup, pasta sauce, sun-dried tomatoes. Hell, I even like raw ones in salads for some reason. But when a raw-ass tomato is on a sandwich, it completely takes over the sandwich with its taste. It makes the bread soggy and makes your meat taste like tomato because that shit is just dropping all over your sandwich. I really don't think I've had a burger or sandwich where I would want a soggy-ass tomato on it. It's out here just moisturizing your meat and bread all up and down. I'm actually not sure if this is an unpopular opinion or not, but everyone in my family shuns me for not liking tomatoes on my sandwiches. I would say this is an unpopular opinion, just based on my personal observations. If you go to a Tesco in the UK and you go to get a meal deal, like a sandwich meal deal, every single sandwich, and in fact most wraps, will have tomato on it. I am a tomato hater. I fucking hate raw tomato. Fuck tomato. Don't fuck tomato though. I like cooked tomato, don't get me wrong. Like they say, I like salsa, soup, sauce, you know, and sun-dried tomatoes. I like sun-dried tomatoes, and in a sandwich, sun-dried tomato, great. Raw tomatoes, I can hate it. Even in a salad, get that shit out of there. There's something about the taste and texture of raw tomato that's just awful, and it's in every sandwich. And as a vegetarian, it's in even more of the sandwich options that I have. I hate raw tomato. I don't like it, and I don't understand why it's in everything. Get it out of there. Raw tomato and cooked mushroom, fuck off with that. Get it out. And that makes up like 90% of the foods. That's my own little unpopular opinion edition there as well, by the way. Cooked mushroom. Fucking hate it. It's like slugs in all of my food, and they put it in every vegetarian option, and I hate it. Go away. Raw mushroom though, that's fine. Raw mushroom, especially in a salad, when it's like crisp, it's slightly crunchy, and it's not slimy, that's great. Why would you ruin it by cooking it though? VR is dead, and no one wants to admit it. The hype wave came and went, and now we're left with a handful of novelty games that barely justify the hardware. The killer app never arrived. Most VR games are glorified minigames, ports, or gimmicks. Even titles like Half-Life Alyx couldn't push the medium beyond its niche. It's been years and nothing has come close since. AAA support is non-existent and most indie devs have moved on. It pains me, but they're right. And it pains me because I'm genuinely like a VR enthusiast, you know? If I could afford more VR tech than I have, I fully would. I really like VR. I had an Oculus Rift S. I have a Quest 2 now. I've used VR for years. I didn't use it much in the previous house me and Leo lived in, purely based on the fact that I had no room to play VR, but I love VR. And yeah, like I will say I'm pretty sure most of the reason is purely time and circumstance, right? Because when the first Oculus Quest came out and introduced standalone VR and it was affordable, and then the Oculus Quest 2 came out and improved that and was cheaper, you know, VR exploded and was really popular. However, it didn't really get better than that. Like, new headsets came out, but they didn't justify the upgrade, especially for most people. But on top of that, you know, as the pandemic wrapped up, which was the point most people were using VR, there's been an economic deficit, you know? The economy pretty much worldwide is in free fall. It's crashing. People can't afford to spend £300-400 on a VR headset upgrade when they've still got a VR headset headset that's collecting dust on their shelf, right? And that's reflected then in game development because it's not affordable for a game developer to invest loads of resources in a platform that people aren't using, and it just creates a bit of a death spiral. Now, there were viral kicks for VR games, right? You look at Gorilla Tag, that shit was so popular. It was a free game and it was really popular and that boomed. But then you look at, you know, attempts at AAA games like Half-Life Alyx was big, but it wasn't huge. Great game. You know, the Sniper Elite devs, they tried to make a game. I personally love it, but it wasn't popular at all. In Medal of Honor tried to make one, wasn't popular at all. There's games like, oh god, what's it called? The one where you fight giants. It's like Attack on Titan or Shadow of the Colossus, but with VR. I'll put the name up on screen. That game looks awesome, but they've released it at a time where VR is at a massive decline, so people aren't playing it, like, and that hurts. And I genuinely think that that's just a product of the time we're in at the moment, and that when we move past this economic deficit, when things start improving and people have more disposable income, and we've seen more developments in VR, because VR is still being worked on, just a lot quieter and slower, we're gonna see a lot more bigger developments in VR that will hit the mainstream at a time where people have more money, and I think VR will bounce back. But that time isn't right now. We're really good at killing VR. VR dies a lot, right? We've killed VR off like 3 times at this point. It happens, but it always bounces back because ultimately people want that level of immersion, right? I think a few things that will bring it back when it's affordable. One of them is eye tracking. That exists, but it's in expensive headsets, or, you know, like PSVR 5. Right, sorry, PSVR 2 for the PlayStation 5 has eye tracking, and it also has really cool controllers. The controllers are awesome. It has like PS5 controller level haptics and adaptive triggers and stuff, which is awesome. If that makes it into more VR tech, that would be great. Eye tracking is a must-have for VR, both for improving performance of games and also just for features that can introduce. Better controllers is also a must. I think gloves are the next movement of VR, like haptic forced feedback gloves, right? Because those exist already. People can make them. You can actually make them yourself, but they're not accessible. They're hard to make, and if you want to buy them, they're not cheap, you know? So when that makes it into mainstream VR, I think that will improve things as well, because full finger tracking and forced feedback would be great. You still need an analog stick and a trigger, really, I would say, because those seem kind of indispensable in VR. But once those are in VR as well, awesome. That'll be great. It's changes like that once they are the norm, but also still in like Quest level pricing, I think VR will bounce back. But right now, unfortunately, yeah, VR is dead. Can you even see my VR headset? No, because I haven't unpacked it yet. I thought it was on the shelf, but possibly out of view. No, I just haven't unpacked it yet. How is talking about VR gonna be the subject that I put like the longest amount of time talking into in this whole video? Oh god. Can you tell it's a subject I'm passionate about though? Unless you are competing or it is free, there is no reason to be running formal races. I like running. My brother-in-law is also getting into it, and he has been signing up for multiple 5k, 10k, etc. I wanted to join him once, and it would give me a reason to formally train. But I looked at the costs, and it was like $100 or something. Why would I pay money for something that I do for free? That one glass of beer and the t-shirt doesn't cover it. I'm not competitive in racing, so it wouldn't matter to me, and I don't know why someone who isn't trying to race would want to. You can time yourself. You can set a deadline to improve. Hell, I heard some races you are able to jump in, they just won't time you. I don't know what that last part means. Look, I actually read the comments for this one to see, because I don't run. Can you tell? I mean, look at me. So I wanted to see what other people were saying on this subject, and I agree with a lot of the comments actually versus this comment. Obviously, you know, this is an opinion. If OP feels like this, then that's fine. But basically, a lot of people were talking about the fact that that's what a race is. A race is inherently competitive, but also, sure, you know, when you're running a 5k or a 10k, like, there's a lot of people competing, and you're probably not going to win, and most people aren't racing that to win, but you're joining that for the experience. right? So the roads are closed off for you. You have a safe environment to run in where you're not at risk of cars, bikes, etc., people getting in the way of the race or putting runners at risk or runners putting other people at risk, right? But also you have the environment of dozens to hundreds of other runners also running something as awesome as a 5 or 10k race, right? This is an experience that you get to participate in. You can do it for charity if you want to, you can do it for fun, but it's an experience that you get to take part in that roads are closed off for, and they open it up and make a cool track for you, and just, you know, like, you don't have to be in it to win it to have an enjoyable experience. It's like paintball. Someone made that analogy, you know? If you go play paintball, are you playing paintball with the I must win this, I have to win paintball? Or are you playing it to have fun playing it, you know? It's an experience. Yes, it's technically a competition, but it's an experience. I like having diarrhea. Oh my god. I don't know how controversial this is, but I much prefer it to constipation. Everyone complains about it, but no one ever complains about not being able to go, and it's genuinely so much worse. Now, I disagree. The comments were up in air with this one, you know? Some people saying they do prefer it to constipation, but don't like it regardless. People saying they don't, yeah. Look, I hate diarrhea, okay? At least with constipation, it sucks, but you can rely on it, you know? If you're constipated, you can still go to work, and while you might be uncomfortable, at least you're not gonna have to run to the toilet because you might shit yourself, right? But with diarrhea, I think I might just get it really bad when I have it, but I get like ungodly level stomach cramps. It is bad. I am in pain. I feel awful. It makes me feel ill. Like, I feel awful when I have diarrhea. Might be TMI, but I had it the other day and I needed to record. I had been to the toilet a few times that day and thought I was all good, was recording. I'm not gonna say what video it is, but you guys watch a few of my videos over the last like week or two and see if you can figure out which video where in the last like 5-ish minutes I started rushing to get the video finished because I needed the toilet. So see if you can figure out which video that was. I tried to mask it, but I don't know if my face was fully masking that. But honestly, you know, for some people, diarrhea, it might just be a runny poo and like that's it, you know? It sucks. You have to run to the toilet because you can't hold it because it's liquid, but it's over. This is a gross video, but I am in pain. It's awful. It's an awful experience. Going to the toilet with diarrhea, it hurts. I get like really bad heartburn sometimes. So when I have diarrhea, it's like acidic. So that shit like burns my butthole, like strips the skin off of my butthole and leaves it really sore. I am so sorry for this video. I just disagree with this one. Diarrhea is awful, and titling this post, "I like having diarrhea," is just insane. Oh god. And the final post. Body wash is vastly inferior to bar soap. At some point in the last few decades, it seems like people stopped using bar soap in favor of body wash. This is due to successful marketing that implies body wash gets you cleaner, is better for your skin, and somehow more convenient, compared to good old-fashioned bar soap. This is ridiculous. Bar soap is way better. Here's why. 1. Bar soap and body wash are basically made from the same chemicals. There is no difference in how they interact with dirt or your skin. Obviously, different brands will have different quality, but compared across brands, it's basically the same. 2. Bar soap is way cheaper, even for premium brands. Bar soap is a fraction of the cost of stupid body wash. 3. Less plastic waste. Bar soap leaves behind a tiny cellophane wrapper compared to a big thick plastic bottle and lid pump top. If you care at all about the environment, ditch the body wash for much lower impact bar soap. 4. No additional equipment needed. You can apply bar soap directly to the skin, and it's easy to get a good lather going. With body wash, you need a loofah or at least a washcloth to get a good lather going, otherwise you end up wasting a ton of product to get clean. Using body wash tells me you are a sheep to marketing and lack critical thinking skills. That is all. This is the kind of unpopular opinion I'm here for, because what the fuck? No. This is composure. This is just wrong. It's just wrong. And I would argue that making an opinion opinion like this is lacking critical thinking skills. First of all, one, bar soap and body wash are not the same chemicals. They are very different. Bar soap is primarily made of oils and fat. That's what makes it solid, right? Whereas body wash contains other chemicals that keeps it runny and allows it to lather up, like sulfates. They're not the same thing. They do interact with your skin differently. They do have different effects on dirt. Second, bar soap is cheaper. Probably, I don't know. I don't buy bar soap. I've not really looked at the prices. I'm not a fan of bar soap. I've used it before and didn't like it. But I do get nice body washes, which can be expensive. So sure. Less plastic waste. I guess. But they say if you care about the environment at all, ditch body wash. There are environmentally friendly body washes you can get that have recyclable or biodegradable bottles. I personally really like Lush. I get a lot of Lush products for my hair, for my body, etc. Lush is all recyclable, but also you can return the bottles and tubs and things that you get their soaps and products in for money off when you buy future Lush products. That's a great scheme. They recycle and reuse the bottles and products. It's great. Good for the environment, good for everything. They also do bar soaps, but like, I again don't like bar soaps. And 4, no additional equipment needed. They say you can apply a bar soap directly to your skin, but you can't do that with body wash. What in the fuck are you on about? Do you know how to shower? You can absolutely apply body wash directly to the skin. I don't use a loofah or a washcloth, but you can use a loofah or a washcloth to improve bar soap as well for exfoliation and things like that. They're good for that, regardless of what kind of soap you're using. But I can absolutely just apply body wash directly to my skin. I put it in my hand, I rub it on my body. I don't drip any on the floor because I know how to clean myself. I'm not wasting any soap. What? I don't have to waste a load of soap to get clean. Does this person know how to shower? I haven't just succumbed to marketing and lack of critical thinking skills. Acting like it's superior, saying you can't apply body wash directly to your body and saying that they're the same thing anyway, it's just wrong. It's just not correct. But that's why we're here, right? It's an unpopular opinion. And yeah, I agree. This opinion is unpopular. I would even go as far as to say it's wrong, but that's my opinion. And tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. But that is where I'm going to finish the video. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Whew, I hope you have enjoyed. Tell me what you think of any of the opinions down below. Do you agree with the opinions? Do you agree with my opinions? Do you disagree? Let me know, but keep it civil. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. But a huge, massive special thank you to all of the wonderful YouTube members and patrons that do support me. All of your names are up on screen right now. It genuinely means the world to me, so thank you so much to everybody that does. And also, if you do support me, you get an extra video every single week. So if that's something that interests you, please do consider joining. You get it for as low as £1 a month. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.